Hey everybody, welcome to our brand new video. Jeff Lanusa here, and oh man, I feel like really I'm in a roll here. This is the second video I'm recording this week, and I have to be honest with you, I haven't done this in a while and it feels good. Today we're going to be talking about transitions, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about in-camera transitions. I know I'm a little bit late to this topic. However, I think it's important that we talk about this because probably you already noticed that everybody's doing it on the internet to the point where it doesn't look cool anymore. You feel like it's 90% like really mind-blowing transitions, 5% slow-mo shots. Yeah, that's it. There's really nothing to that equation. So we're going to be tackling that issue today. We're going to be talking about when to use them, how to use them. So yeah, man, I'm actually quite excited about this video. So yeah, let's cue the intro, shall we? Okie dokie, so first things first. What is a transition? Well, it's actually a technique we use to combine two different clips or two different shots. This is going to be clip A, this is going to be clip B. So when we put them together, this little part right here, that is going to be your transition. It can be literally like this. It can be something like this. Or this. Oh, yeah, probably not like this. My bad shower, Jeff. Alright, I'll take it from here. So by using in-camera transitions, what we're trying to achieve here is pretty much to create a seamless story. Also, we're going to create a really interesting flow where the viewer is going to be very interested, kind of like, oh wow, you're here, now you're there, now you're showing this, now you're showing there, instead of being like very blocky. There's going to be a very easy flow. And if done right, it can look very, very, very cool. I'm a massive fan of them, but there's something very important to mention here, and that's the fact that at the end of the day, this is just a tool in our toolkit as filmmakers, so use it with a purpose. Let's not just go crazy here and go like crazy bonkers with it, because unfortunately that's what you see going on all over YouTube and Instagram right now. That's what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Like, you see this really cool video, which is like, again, I'm repeating myself, but it's like you feel like a majority of it is just crazy transitions, and there's really not much of a story behind it. I have to be honest, I'm guilty of doing this maybe from time to time, and that's exactly the issue, right? Like, you see all these videos and you're like, wow, okay, but that's just like if that's the style you're going after, there's nothing wrong with it, but just be aware that I reckon, and this is my opinion, it's being overused in the internet at the moment, so be very careful on when to use it. So I think I even haven't talked about my favorite in-camera transitions, which I do apologize because that's the whole purpose of this video. I love using handheld swipes, and by that I mean, let me just grab this real quick. So let me just record now. That's me. Hello. Inception. Alright, so a handheld swipe is pretty much going like something like this, like that. You can go like this. You can go to the corners. If you decide to go with this technique, you need to know a couple of things. The first thing is you have to shoot with a purpose. By that I mean plan a little bit ahead. I'm not saying go ahead and plan your whole shooting, which actually would be perfect, kind of like this. Like, this is like pretty much like a rough idea of the beginning of this video. And if you can do something like that, trust me, down the road, it's going to be way easier and it's going to save you a bunch of time. But if you don't want to do that, I understand 1,000,000%. The one thing you have to do, however, is think, how do you want to connect the videos with one another? By that I mean, for example, let's just not go crazy with the whole moving and swiping thing. At the beginning of this video, you see me walking from left to right. So the camera is also following me, and it goes into a coming trend, which in my opinion that it looks really cool because there's some sort of like contrast in the movement. So do bear in mind the beginning and the ending of each clip you film, so at the end when you bring them together, like, it makes sense. And speaking of the beginning and the ending of each video, it brings me to my next point, and that is, make sure you already know your frame before you start doing that. So it's quite simple. If you're going to be shooting, let's say for example, a person, make sure like you know exactly how you want your frame to be, and then you can focus on your movement. But remember, the most important thing is your subject, not the movement itself, but the subject. Let's talk about the movement. Remember, in post-production, we can speed ramp it, so it can go faster, it can go slower, but don't go crazy on the camera itself, because that particular movement we can't change, or if we could, it will be a little bit trickier. By that I mean, let me show you real quick. Instead of just going like this, take our times. There you go. I want this to happen like that. So now go slow. And now you can go down. And that is going to look 100 times better if you just go like crazy, like all twitchy movements, trust me. And the last piece of advice I'm going to give you is talking about the very beginning of this video. The camera is panning left to right, and it becomes black with a tree that was in front of the shot, which I combined with a clip I shot behind a column just showing the trend. So try to find different layers so you can camouflage your shot per se. You know, for example, you can use the sky, you can use the floor, you can use something in front of your shot like I did at the beginning of this video. You can use these types of layers to make your life easier during editing. Alright, so those are just a couple of tips on in-camera transitions, but of course, trust me mate, that is, I barely scratched the tip of the iceberg. Like, you can go deep. If you like this video, do not hesitate to go bananas on that like button over there. Subscribe, that would help this channel a lot. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.